Alright, hello everybody. It is Tuesday the 20th, just a minute or so before 9 o'clock. And today is going to be a special stream. And so I'm going to turn on some music for the next little bit until we get some streamers and some people watching the stream. I want to try I want there to be a good amount of interaction today, so I'm hoping that quite a few people show up. While we wait, I'm going to turn on some music in the background, and then we'll move on from there. Hello everybody, good to see you. Gonna give this a couple more minutes, so be patient. So I'm gonna actually turn on something special here now. I'll be waiting for another couple minutes. So this is, so what I'm gonna turn on is actually a piece I composed. This is called The Current, and it's about 4 minutes long. So we'll start in about 4 minutes. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. This is actually me playing it as well. Hello Norbert, good to see you. So I'm likely going to start at about 9:05, just so you guys know. Sorry about the notifications in the background. I'm getting chatted right now. So those of you just showing up, we're starting in a couple minutes. Just about another minute. Okay, so that is the current. I composed that piece, also playing it as well. That's releasing on the Five Browns' next album in 2018 in the spring. All right. So that's not what's special for today. That's just something that I do as well, and something that I've been doing longer than trading. But what today's stream is special because it's my last stream. Um, my last stream for for the next 8 to 12 months. And I know I've said this in the past. Oh, this is going to be my last stream because I was lacking support here and there. I was getting trolls and things like that. This is different. This is my last stream today, and I'm telling you guys because I don't want to just to disappear like so many people do. Um, it's my last stream because I want to concentrate on my goal. My goal of reaching a $50,000 account, and I become a full-time independent trader at that point, um, and making an income uh, off of that money too. And so that is what's a little bit different. Excuse me, I need to shut my air. You can still hear me. You should be able to still hear me. It's getting a little warm in my apartment. Okay, so the thing is that I want this to be since this is the last stream, I want to cover a lot of things. That includes more of the way I do things, um, what the future entails. Uh, why am I going away? And more details on that for such a long period of time. It's going to be 8 to 12 months before you guys will see me again. Doing live streams. I won't even do any video updates. I'm going to be doing everything quietly in the background. um, Working on my settings, working on my trading. I don't want any distractions. This means a lot to me. This is very important. I don't want to ruin my judgment by clouding it by being in a very public, being displayed in a public way. Uh, yeah, Crash Ev, yes, Ryan, you dog, live again. But yeah, this is one of my last stream for the next 8 to 12 months, likely, until I reach my goal. Now the stream will change if I decide to come back after if I reach my goal. Then the stream will be a little bit different. It's still going to be education based. I'm not going to be paid in any way. But it's going to be less about, oh, I can do this, I can do that, look how much I profited, look how much I did this, look how good this trade was. It's going to be more about teaching you guys how to trade the market. And a lot of the fundamentals that you need in profiting in the market instead of showing you how much profit I made today. That's not very helpful. I mean, that's cool. It's cool, and it makes me feel good because I'm kind of showing off in a way. I had a really long thought process this weekend. Also had conversations with my wife as well in regards to the stream, my trading, what my goals, when my goals will be met, all that kind of stuff. And I think this is the best decision for me, is to cut the stream, cut the video updates. Um, I know it's unfortunate, and I'm sorry to do that, but I have to look out for myself right now. And I feel like this is the best way. And I'll get into why I think it's the best way during the stream, actually. Um, and the things that I've come across over this weekend that kind of opened my eyes to uh, how I should be treating this whole stage in my life right now. So let's get into the trades right now, what I've taken since the last stream, and uh, the progress with my manual trading strategies and my EA's algorithms and stuff like that. Okay, so I've had just two trades this week. One was on the pound CAD and one was on the euro pound. You can see the profit amount that I took was 50.7 pips, so just over 50 pips, $166, 0.5%. So this was done between two pairs. You see that one pair hit $100 profit. Whoops, I didn't even circle that right. $100 profit. And the other pair hit $64 profit. Well, just over it. So you see that the total of those two came out to be $166. The thing that's interesting about these two trades is that they were closed out at the same time. They weren't opened at the same time, but they were closed out at the same time. You can see that one trade was entered on an inside candle setup here. So that was the pound CAD. And then the other trade was entered on another setup, which is on the 1 hour time frame on the euro pound. And they both shot down in a good way. And because they were hedging each other and complementing each other, they both came out in profit, especially right before the big drop on the pound right here. I didn't want that to be involved in that drop. Although, even if I was involved in that drop, I would have still come out with profit on this pullback here. So far, a very good week. Maybe a little lower profit at $166, but I'll take that. And I'm in a couple of trades right now. So hopefully these will close out before long. So you guys just saw the second trade just go in, right? So this one here. It was near a hold number. So this is good for me. I entered on an inside candle setup here. Sorry, not right there. Right here. So the inside bearish candle short position entered there, expecting on the downside. Didn't happen, shot back up, entered on the second position 20 pips later. Okay, so I'm hoping that this will shoot back down. There's a good chance for that because we're right, if you guys look at it, we're at a whole number. So that means we're going to see a lot of this going on near the whole number. It could easily blast past and it could easily blast down, but it's likely that we're going to see a little bit of this before it decides that it's going to shoot down or shoot up. So this is good. It means that there's an unsure market and it could easily go back on the downside here. All right, and we're already in profit on our second position already. All right, so let's get into what we were talking about in the last stream. So if you guys remember, we talked about Trader Agent, and I have for a while now. There was a little bit of issues, and this was talked about in my last video, especially from Harley. He was talking about that the website was down. It was isfx.eu, and that website was down. I wasn't sure what was going on, if I was blocked, but it was actually a website issue, a copyright issue that was going on, and they had to change their name to Dark Moon FX. And so now the website's back up. You guys can buy the Trader Agent, which is really helpful software that I'm going to show a little bit more of today and why it can be helpful to you. It's only $100. I'm not affiliated with the website again in any way. But if you want to purchase the software, it's $100, and I purchased it for $100, and I even have proof in my stream. Somebody said that I bought they could see that I bought the software. So let's make sure that there's no questions coming in. All right, so this software is being displayed right here, and allows you to use that for live testing. It allows you to put a grid on your trades. It allows you to close in percent profit. Uh, and have so much control over your positions, where you don't have to be sitting there in front of your computer all the time managing your trades. You can step away a lot more. It's very helpful software, and you can also backtest with it, which is awesome. So you can, and that's the biggest reason why I bought it, is because you can backtest all your manual strategies, and it keeps track of all the profit and your backtest right here at the top, which is super helpful. So you can see how well your strategy holds up over the longer period of time. So I know a couple people that are using this strategy, and there could be some frustration with that because it takes a long time to potentially backtest your strategy. All right, and so I'll get around talking about how to make things maybe a little bit faster with that. All right. So the things I wanted to go over first were the profit that I have so far. So this is just a refresh of the profit that I've gone through. Just 166 this month. I'm looking at 8% profit, $2,300. You can see the equity, the balance growth. Everything's looking great. This is my friend's account. This is the account that I'm trading for him at $56,000. So this is a substantial account. We are not past the 100,000 mark, but that may change. Things are going very well for him, and you can see there's a couple places of losses right here and right here. This is because I took over the account after this. Sorry, I think my headphone turned off. Yeah, I think okay, it's back on now. Let me just make sure that the sound is going. Sorry, I think my headphone. Okay, yeah, they're back on. Okay, so yes, I took over the account here. He actually took a manual trade here, which ended up being a loss. And then he stopped doing that after that. So it's been going very well. You can see the profit and the percentages. Next is what I'm going to talk about here in a little bit is the spreads on LMFX and how I'm using a fixed spread and how that complements my strategy. So algorithm trading. That's what I'm going to be focusing on. And you guys know that I've had an EA for a while now. And that's what's been making me most of this profit that you see here. Well, most of this profit is from my algorithm. And a lot of you disagree with algorithm trading because you don't think it works long term. It's dangerous. All EAs don't work according to what most people say. It's because most EAs that people know of are retail EAs. So they don't work because the people that are selling them are making more off of actually selling them than using them. So my algorithm I've tested for so long, and things have been going so well with it. But I only use two pairs. I use the pound CAD and I use the euro pound. And I use those two pairs to do exactly what I just showed you. That's how they complement each other. How if one enters a trade and the other enters a trade, and they happen to be in trades at the same time, then once a certain profit target is met, then they will close out. Both trades will close out at the same time. That's a bit of a hedging type of strategy, and it's very valuable because these two pairs are correlated. So in most cases, they complement each other. So when one is in drawdown, the other will pull the other out of drawdown, or vice versa. And I feel like that is why the strategy is so profitable, and it's kind of my secret weapon with this technique. So what has happened over this weekend? What has changed? Well, a pretty big find, which is I just found that a new pair, and that new pair is the NZD CAD, Canadian dollar, and also the odd CAD as well. So the odd CAD, if you can see here, it probably doesn't show the pair itself, but this is the odd Canadian dollar in a test that I'd run. This is $1,000 $1,000 account from 2010 all the way to 2017 5/8. So just last month. I'm not sure why it didn't go all the way through. I might have. Okay, yeah, I'm not really sure why I didn't go all the way to the last day of the month. But this is the odd Canadian dollar, and $1,000 account going into 160K using this same RMI strategy that I've gone over on all of my videos. Now, what's changed? A couple of settings. I'm not going to give those away. I want you guys to search those out, find for yourself. I've given away the settings that work, that are standard settings, which are the 70 and the 30. So this is the RMI. So the 70, above 70 means that you're going to start shorting the market. Below 30 means you're going to start buying the market. But the thing I wait for an inside candle to happen before I do that. So for example, here's a inside candle here. Well, let me zoom in. Inside candle set up right here. Entering of trade 1, and then entering on a grid after that. And then eventually it comes back down on that pullback and it moves down in a big way. We come out with a profit, close out all trades, and that's that. Same thing here, inside candle set up right here. Entering of the trade on the open of the next candle, entering on a grid on the downside, looking for that pullback, and comes out in profit. So that kind of setup has been very profitable on the euro pound and the pound CAD. But now we have the Australian dollar and the Aussie CAD, and that is showing to be the best of my pairs using this strategy. So what does that mean? That means that we have 3 pairs. That means I have 3 pairs now to trade. But it goes in even deeper than that. And if you look for on my FX book, and you search the Australian Canadian dollar under correlation, you'll find other correlated pairs. So pairs that act and behave very similar to whatever pair you're searching. So for example, I'm searching. Let me. I didn't spell it right. CAD correlation. Okay. AutoCAD. Wonderful. Okay. So what you find here is you go into the 1 month. So you want to do the longest time frame that they have available. And it's just a helpful tool. I mean, it's not the only thing I use to find correlation, but it helps a lot. So you see here that the top correlation, even though it's 60%, it's the NZD CAD. So what I did was I was like, all right, so that means I'm going to try the NZD CAD to see if it works as well. Holy crap, it works as well. So now instead of having 2 pairs, I just went from 2 pairs to 4 pairs, showing that the strategy is very consistent on multiple pairs and its correlations. So you can see that over a course of 7 years, that this report turned I think a $30,000 account, yes, a $30,000 account into 289 with just 37% drawdown. So that shows that now we have 4 pairs that we can use, and they're all very consistent in profit over a long period of time. Okay, so let's talk about settings, because this is the last stream, right, that I'm doing for the next 8 to 12 months, and I mean that. I'm not. You won't see me. You won't see me for the next while, probably till not till 2018. And I'll do until I reach my goal. So when I reach my goal, you'll probably see an update from me. So if you see something in your email, that if you're still subscribed to my stream or to my videos, if you see an email saying that I have a video, it's likely because I finally met my goal. All right. So settings. Let's talk about settings, and I'm gonna show you the settings for. I'm gonna show you what settings. Let me show you the settings for the euro pound. It's a good pair. It's a good one to start with. It also has the lowest spread. So the settings for the euro the euro pound are for the RMI are standard. There's 30 and 70. And you guys got to remember that my stop loss is high. It's at 500 pips. And that might be a problem. It may sound ridiculous to some people, but it's because I close out the worst trades first. So the ones that are in drawdown, the highest drawdown will close out first, and eventually the majority will turn back into favor, um, but I will take some losses. That has happened, especially on the pound CAD. Um, but on the euro pound, it hasn't had any losses since it 25 years in my testing. All right, so it's and I also have close at pips profit, means that all the trades close at a set pip profit amount. So let's say that we have 5 trades, and amongst those 5 trades we have 50 pips total profit. They will all close out, and then that's how we get our profit amount, and that's how trades close out. So it's pretty straightforward. You guys, only thing you have to remember are the buy and sell levels of the RMI, and that I also enter on the EA enters on a inside candle setup. And I have a 500 pip stop loss, and that's what's worked for me. Now I'm not going to go into settings on the other pairs. That is for you to try to find out. I've already given you the pairs, and so you need to try to figure out how the indicators work, what works best with the strategy, what's the proper risk. Now I can talk about that real briefly. But you guys should know that smaller risk is more important than larger risk in basket trading. Basket trading can be very dangerous if your risk is too high, and especially for people that don't know how to do it very well. And so my recommended risk is 0. I gotta change there you go. 0.01 for every 1K you have. For every 1K you have in the account. All right. So that's my recommended risk level. You can use more, but if you want to be consistent, if you want to be safe, that's what I would recommend. All right. So let's see. What's the next thing? Oh yeah, I should go over some questions now. And if you guys have any questions as well, please let me know. This is the time to ask things, because you won't see me anymore. I won't be likely answering questions on YouTube if it's stuff I've already talked about in the past. If people write in a question on a video that I did in the past. If people write me an email, I may not answer it unless it's something that I haven't answered before. Or if you notify me on Skype, the same thing. Or on Forex Factory, same kind of issue. I'm trying to go quiet. I'm trying to stay away so I can concentrate on my goal and doing what I've just found out this weekend. That there's a lot more I can do with my strategy than I'm doing right now, and I need to break that down. And I need to figure out the best way to use the power of my strategy, and I need to do that behind closed doors. Okay, so the first question that was asked was from CV. CV, hi Ryan, hope your weekend was great. Happy Father's Day. I've been testing your grid in basket trading. Same thing. I am trying your method, but no trader or person is the same. No results will vary, so results will vary. I am more concerned with the money management part of it. From what I've gathered off of memory, you have a catastrophic stop loss at 7%, and you grid every 20 pips and no more than that. No more than 0.3 lots a trade. I don't remember what your open trade total limit was or is there. I do know you hedge with the euro pound, but it's a pretty long message. But not sure the reason other than to complement the drawdowns on your pound CAD. So to minimize reading these messages out loud, I'll kind of just paraphrase what CV is asking. He's kind of trying to get a little bit more information about how my technique is used, I guess, so he or she can try to use it as well. Um, so a couple things. Basket trading and grid trading are different. They are not the same. They use the same kind of order placement. The difference is grid trading, you're entering on a set pip amount. Basket trading does not mean that you have to be entering on a set pip amount. So, for example, let's say uh, we want to enter trades every 20 pips, right? That would be a grid system. If we want to enter a trade uh, on one trade at 20 pips and another trade at 30 pips and another trade at 50, then that's not quite grid trading, especially if your entries are varied. But if you have multiple entries on the same side, it is basket trading. Um, Now, a catastrophic stop loss is 7%. That's not the case. No, I have a stop loss of 500 pips, which ends up being about 5% on each trade. So when I have a losing trade, so one trade hits that 500 pip stop loss, it's usually a 5% hit to my account at my risk setting. Um, so it depends on how many trades are hit at that level. Could it be one, two, three? That'd be 15% loss. Um, but it's not seven. It's not a 7% cutoff. 7% is what I used to use many months ago, last year, uh, but haven't used that 7% cutoff in a long time. Um, you can experiment with percent cutoffs of the account. I know that there's a lot of basket traders that do that. Um, but I feel like a pip amount is a much smarter way to work with potential losses. But you can always have a percent cutoff there just in case it happens, just for safety. Yes, I do use the pound and the pound CAD and the euro pound to complement each other with hedging. Um, but I don't hedge in the way that typically a lot of people do, where you enter a trade on the pound CAD and then you enter the same type of trade or in the opposite direction on the euro pound. That's not what's going on here. Um, the trades enter independently, but when they potentially they'll close out together if they are in the market at the same time. I'm not sure if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I can't help you there. uh, let's see. My personality psychology wants me to be just cut my losing trades just below or above the inside candle to ease the pain. So basically, I would have to look for the next inside candle at support resistance and enter the trade, basically limiting the grid down or just one trade at a time. Have you tried this type of approach on the back testing? I'm doing it manually. It is so slow. Yes. So you guys, that's the thing with wanting to be a profitable trader. You have to put the work in. You gotta put the work in if you want to make this work. If you're just looking at the market, you found a couple of indicators and you're trying to run the market in discretion. How do you know if that's going to work full time? Like in the full time, I mean, in the long run. You have no idea if that's going to work. If your discretion is working at just that moment in time, or if it's been working over the last, years and years of time. There's no way to really find that out unless you put the work towards it. Uh, and if that's not an algorithm like I use, it has to be done in a manual way. Now, a lot of it you think that, okay, well, it's hard for you to say that this, or to understand how difficult this is since you have algorithms that do it for you. No, I've done this manually. I usually will go do the whole idea manually first and then build an algorithm behind it after I've done a few months of testing so I can do a few years or, sometimes over 10 years of data pulling to see if the strategy holds up over the long period of time. I have a friend that does not use EAs, but he did his testing manually over as much data as he could pull, which unfortunately with MetaTrader he could only pull I think 2 or 3 years of data. But it was enough. It was enough for him to find out if his strategy would hold up over the longer term. And he brought out a spreadsheet, how profitable the months were, and it was very impressive. It's what you need to do in order to become a profitable trader. If you're not willing to put that work into it, then I think you should do something else. Um, because you haven't put the work into what you are trying to achieve to uh, receive results. the results that you deserve, the results that you've worked for. Yeah, you can put a lot of work into something and the results won't show. I've done that so many times where I have high expectations for an algorithm and it just doesn't show any profit over the longer term. It's a total bust. It's a waste of money. I spent $50 to to code the algorithm, and right off the bat, I know it's a dud. That happens a lot of times, and it's just something. It's just part of the game. And you pick up, you find where what was wrong with the setup or the methodology, and you try to improve it. And just happens over and over again. I've spent thousands of hours testing and trying to find strategies that work. And it took me years to finally get the results that I'm looking for. That's why I did this stream, is to try to speed the process up for you guys. So to start you thinking in this way, in this manner, earlier on, so you can potentially have an edge faster than many others do. Have you ever thought about why so many people lose? A lot of people think, oh, it's because they over risk their account. It's because they are not very knowledgeable. It's because they're new to the market. They don't understand how things work. It's because they have a bad strategy. It's because they have bad emotions. Their emotions don't work with trading. Yeah, those things are all tie in to the problem. But the problem is just people don't do enough research with the strategies that they're using to see if they actually work. That to me is pretty much the bottom line. Because if you put the work to it, emotions would be much easier to deal with because you trust your strategy. You would know the risk that you need to take because you know what works and what doesn't by testing your strategy. Um, and you know if the system works because you tested it through manually. So that's what I'm saying, is that if you do that, everything else will follow. Um, but the thing is, sorry, my headphones keep turning off. That people just don't do the necessary steps in order to um, be profitable in trading. So I guess that's my big spiel for you guys, is to try to get you thinking in a different way. And I think that CV here, let me see if I can pull up the chat again. I think CV is he's trying here. It's difficult to retrain yourself to think, because the idea of it makes sense for me to feel stuck on a losing grid trade as I watched my drawdown get close to 7%. Stop loss. My personality and psychology wants me to just cut my losing trades. That is the thing, is that when you see a trade going into drawdown, it freaks you out, and you're thinking, "Oh crap! How far is it going to go? Is it going to turn back around? Should I close it out before it gets worse?" And that's how emotions get tied into it. It's because CV doesn't really understand this type of trading yet, and it may take a while. It depends on how passionate he is um, about making this type of trading work. Now, it doesn't have to be the only trading style that works. For example, I'm going to show you guys what I think is to be a breakout strategy, a strategy that does not use grid trading. At least I don't think so. This is a breakout kind of type of strategy, and if it uses grid trading, it doesn't use a lot. So it shows here that a non-grid system can work. So CV, it can work, but it's very rare to find these kind of strategies that run in this way. Now, unfortunately, I can't see a whole lot of data in regards to the system, but this trader who is ever running it is very talented. He's got 20% drawdown, or 10% drawdown, and he doesn't have a basket type of trading system, which is extremely hard to find. But to me, this shows that he's done a lot of testing and a lot of trial and error to see if to find a stop loss strategy or a single trade strategy that works. And you can find it too. You just have to put the research in to do it. Okay, so CV, keep working with it. And no, a 7% stop loss is too tight to me. use a 500 pip, a 300 to 500 pip stop loss. Work with that. It should help. And your idea of closing trades when they reach a certain support resistance. So what he's asking right now. Let me see if I can break this down for you guys so it makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so the trade entry was right here, right? And it was because of the inside candle set up here. So the bearish candle here, and then the bullish candle right after, we enter on the next trade. So that's the trade setup. What he's talking about is it's so tempting to just have a stop loss below the lowest low, so the candle here, and have a stop loss below there. Well, in this case, it would have worked out just fine, but that's not always the case because we don't, even though this is showing us that a potential reversal is possible, we don't know if this is the actual location where it may bounce. It could jump a little bit lower and then bounce up. It could go a lot lower and then bounce up. But the thing is that this kind of setup is showing us that the market is starting to slow on its move down. In this case, it's moving down. And when we see an inside candle, that means that the push is slowing down. We're not making new lows. So you can see new lows after each candle, new low here. And then the new low is stopped on this candle. That's showing that this continued push down is not as powerful anymore, and that there is potential for people to go bounce into the market, jump into the market for a potential small or large pullback. Now, a pullback of like this could turn into a complete change in direction. In this case, it didn't. It continued with the trend and moved down further. But that's the idea behind the strategy, is that we don't really know if this is the place that this will hold, and that's why we can't put all of our eggs in one basket. We can't just put the one trade there hoping that it will reverse on that point. Yeah, that would be great, and in this case it worked out very well, but I was very prepared to see this go down further and enter on a grid. All right, so keep working at the idea, CV. I think that it will eventually click. The more research you do with it, the more confident you'll feel with this type of trading strategy. Yes, I do use 20 pips. You can use 10 pips in some cases. You can use 30 pips in some cases. You can use all the way up to 50. It depends on the pair. There's so many different options you can do, and so I recommend experimenting with that. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. I'm going to answer some more questions. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit longer stream today. I'm going to see if there's any more questions in the YouTube chat. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, Harley, I've already answered I think a lot of your information regarding the trade agent that is now back up. You can go to darkmoonfx.com and you can buy the software that allows you to trade your or check your manual strategy to see if it works. And I'm going to put it in the chat box here at on YouTube so you guys can see darkmoonfx.com and start trading your manual strategies with this software. It's great. It will show you and you'll feel much more comfortable, especially if it works long term. And you'll also be able to figure out how to scale your strategy as well. So if your strategy is working well at lower risk, you can probably scale it up depending on what the drawdown would be. All right, so give that a shot. I recommend it. All right, let's go into some of the other questions, and then we'll see if there's anything else left over, and then I'll probably say my goodbyes and all that kind of stuff at the end of the stream. Okay, so here we have a couple of interesting questions. Now, OzFX is a trader that's been pretty active on my thread, on my journal thread, and he's been helping people with getting the RMI converted to MT5. As MT5 eventually is going to take over MT4, just so you guys know. Okay, so first question is from Crowy. Crowy says, your streaming broadcasts are very good. Thank you for your insights. When exploring strategies, etc., I've always adopted the methodology that any strategy should have a good win rate, profitability factor. I'm new to the concept of grid trading and basket trading, although it's making a lot of sense. Have you ever tested the inside bar strategy without grid trading? Would it have the same success? I'm curious if a set and forget trade would have the same results. Take profit at 50 pips. Okay, yes. This is good a good question because I've done both. Yes, a strategy that the same RMI strategy with grid trading and without grid trading, and I found that grid trading was more profitable. And the reason why is because let's see if I can find a grid here or a multi trade setup. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's not one that I want. Okay, well, I could talk about that one, which I think I will. This was a higher drawdown trade. It only gave me 5%, only 5% drawdown on this position because my orders were so small. Each of my orders were so small, and I came out with about 0.5% profit on this trade. So some people may say, well, that's ridiculous risk ratio of 5% drawdown for a 0.5% profit. No, that's how I trade this. That's how I trade in general. Is I want more room for my trades to come into profit. In this case, it was a lot more than that, $426. Now the idea was that if I would have entered positions, okay, so first position was here, right? One order position one. Position two, if I would have entered manually, would have been after this inside bar here. Okay. Position three would have been this inside bar right after it. Position four would have been this inside bar. Okay, so now if I'm scrolling out, you'll see that in this case, profit probably would have been taken roughly in the same area. So probably not the best example. But typically in a basket, a grid trading basket setup like this, I don't need as much pullback in the market to exit my trades because my trades are so close. Now, if my trades were too far apart, a lot wider, then I need more of a pullback in the market to close out of my trades in profit. So the idea is if I have a tight enough grid, then I need minimal pullback to exit in profit, and it makes the system a little bit safer. Now, but you have to be very careful with how you approach that because your positions can't be too uh, too large. They have to be very well thought out. Each little position, you can't martingale it. It has to be the same risk level. All right, here's another example. 20 pip grid setup, 4 trades, minimal pullback as you can see here, exited for profit. All right, and it changes on each pair. If you want a 20 pip grid, you want a 10 pip grid, you want a 30 pip grid, a lot of different ones work, and it's up to you to see which one and you're testing to see which one works best for you. All right, so an update on my current position. We're in a little bit of drawdown right now. So the 177, it's not bad, especially on a $32,000 account. But we're looking like we might enter another trade here before long. We have 2 trades in. It looked like it might pull back at this point, but right now it's looking like this is a powerful enough candle to close out. If it closes out in the next 12 minutes and it closes out in this way, then it's probably going to continue to shoot up a bit more. So I may be on the long run on this trade, and that's fine. I'm looking for positions on the pound CAD on the long side to help get me out of this position. Okay, let's see. There's more questions, so I'll continue answering those. Hopefully, you guys find them you find them helpful. All right, thank you again, LMFX, for converting the RMI to MT5. Okay, so this is a pretty good question here, and I'm going to answer this one. I will try your MT5 version of RMI. I'm trying to create the same as Cub would be good. I'm testing Euro US dollar manually on Forex Tester. It's slow going, and I noticed right away the success of 5 to 12% a month. But on my 3rd month, I got into a 20% drawdown. Okay, so right off the bat is why are you testing this on the Euro US dollar? I have specific pairs that I've drawn out for you guys here. Especially the Euro Pound and the Pound CAD. I'm not just using these pairs because I like to trade them. I find them really cool. It's no. It's because they're the pairs that really work with this type of trading. They are, one, very rangy. They're rangy pairs. Two, they have extremes in each direction. So, for example, let's talk about this here. So you see the push down, right? You see the support level here, it shot back up. The thing is that we have extremes. We have extreme down and we have an extreme up. We have an extreme down, extreme up, and the same thing. So it's just because it's a very volatile pair. So we get those good pullbacks. We get a nice push up and we get a nice push down. And it covers a large portion of the move that actually happened. That's the kind of pair behavior that we want. I mean, so some people might freak out with a push up like this in this move, but then it has a nice pullback right after. Yeah, it takes quite a bit longer, but it does have that pullback. That's the kind of behavior that we're looking for in our pairs, and that's what we get with the Euro Pound, the Pound CAD, the Odd CAD, the NZD CAD. Is that kind of behavior that works so well with this strategy, and potentially with other strategies as well. And that's up to you to decide if this is the kind of strategy or methodology that you want to use in your trading. A lot of people find it very, very weird, very different, and it's hard for them to wrap their heads around. Even professional traders. I had to explain this to professional traders because they didn't even understand how what my ideas are because they're so out of the box. And that's another thing, guys. Think out of the box. If you think outside the box, if you do what other people are not doing, do what other people are not doing. So if somebody's buying the market, if the majority of people are buying the market, it's probably a good idea to sell. And you'll find that's the case most of the time. And if you just go to, for example, let's just go to forexfactory.com. You'll see that, okay, so right here we have the trade meter. So we find the majority of people on the NZD US dollar are shorting right now. If I was smart, I would actually be buying the market. I'd be one of the 26%. And it's because why this is happening. That means that the NZD US dollar is trending. I don't even have to look at it. I know that because the way this looks with how it looks on the meter with how many traders are on the short side. That means that this is trending in some way, likely it's likely moving up. And let me just check. Let's open up the NZD CAD. See if I'm right. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe somebody could tell me before I even get to it. Okay, I'm not even sure why it's not showing the pairs here. Show all. Oh, there it is. Okay, NZD US dollar. Okay, so yeah, it's been moving up in a big way. So that's what I was telling you. If you just look at that meter, you have an idea that this has been pushing up for the last long time. You can see here it's moved up like 500 pips in the last couple month or so. And so that's why the majority of people are where they are. So try to look at these meters and try to see what people are doing because it's likely what they're doing is not the best reason because they're losing. These people are losing. And so they're holding on to their positions in the hopes that things will turn around for them. All right. So going back to the subject here. Yeah, you shouldn't be trading the Euro US dollar, Cliff, because that pair doesn't really work very well. And the reason why it doesn't really work very well is, let's see if I can pull it up. If you're going to the Euro US dollar, you'll see that the pullbacks are not as substantial. For example, let's go to this. You see the big push here, right? This pullback is too small. This pullback is maybe too small as well. The pullbacks are too small. They're not enough. They don't cover a large space. They're not volatile enough. There's not enough liquidity. And the trend is too smooth. It's the same thing with the Euro Japanese yen. Sorry, not the Euro Japanese yen. The US dollar Japanese yen. They trend in a big, very smooth way, which is great for trend traders. These are great pairs for traders that trend, but they're not good for traders like me that counter trend trade and look for range setups. CV. Thanks for clearing that up. You are easy hedging full time. Uh, Full time. So the pairs are yes, you got it. You got it, CV. Is your EA trading full time? Yes, it's trading 24/5. So whenever it's I have it on a VPS. You can see my VPS here. You can see I have just 3 pairs running, and the Euro US dollar is because I have a profit closing EA. I recommend that you guys do this too if you don't want to have manage your trades. I have a profit managing EA that closes out my trades in a dollar profit. So once I have trades in on both pairs, the pound CAD and the euro pound, they'll close out at the same time, and it gives me a nice little hedge and closes out all of my baskets earlier than they would if they were running independently by themselves. All right. I think better to go with trend, not basket positions. Uh, yeah, that's your opinion. Avidia. Um, a lot of people like the trend. They're comfortable with the trend. They they find the trend to be comforting because what they've always read, the trend is your friend. But I actually heard somebody that is a trend trader. He said the trend is your friend until it's done. But how do we know when it's done? We don't know when it's done. I mean, just looking at the pound CAD for a second. All right, so the pound CAD has been in a big downward spiral for a long time because of the pressures in the pound, right? So if you're looking at the overall picture, you could say, well, it's probably a good idea to short the pound right now. It is. It is a good idea to short the pound right now. But it doesn't mean that it can't just stop right now and move all the way up and past everybody's expectations and launch up 500 pips from right now. We don't know when the trend is done until it's already moved like 300 pips. That's the thing with trend trading, is that it's so hard to know when that trend is actually done. So what people will do is, let's say that this actually reverses right here and shoots up. Okay, so it moves up to this resistance level. All right, so a lot of people will probably enter the market right there, looking for it to go down. All right, so if it does, that's if it reverses right there, that's great. But if it doesn't, it will shoot up again. People will enter again at this resistance level, enter it on the downside, and oh, look, that's 2 people that were wrong, and it's continuing to go up, and it up and up and up, and so people keep thinking that it's going to eventually find support or resistance, and it may not. It may just keep going up and going up until it just blows past this heavy resistance at the top. That's always possible. That's what my point is that we never know when that trend is going to end. But what we do know is uh, it's the longer that the trend continues to move in a direction, the more likely it is for it to reverse. That's something that we know, that or for there to be pullbacks. And so that's what I'm betting on. I find it much easier to counter trend because of that idea. Uh, the trend is my friend until the end. uh, RR is better. I can't remember what RR stands for. Risk return? Risk rating? I can't remember. Have you thought trend trading with your counter trend strategy? Have you thought or tried trend trading with your counter trend strategy? Yes, I have, and I think it could work pretty well on potentially on pairs like the UJ or the Euro US dollar. Risk return. Thank you. Um, I was close. Risk. Did I say risk return? I think I might have said that, but I'm not sure. It doesn't matter anyway. Um, the thing is, guys, I'm going to tell you right now. For those of you that are trend trading, I've been looking for a trend strategy that works long term for the last 4 years. I have not found one yet. That's crazy because I've used so many different strong trend indicators that I thought that were really great, and I still want a trend trading strategy because I think it will complement my system, my counter trend really well. I just can't find one that works. I think my best bet is looking for a strategy a breakout strategy, something that looks for pips in a breakout using volatility or liquidity in the market, um, and looks for a small amount of pips. That is something that I'm still trying to develop, but it's not a good sign if all this time and if out of all of my systems, I haven't been able to make a trend trading strategy work. And it's because the trend is not my friend. Because you could easily enter the market when it's done. Okay, so for example, let's say that some of you are thinking, wow, look at this candle. This means that the euro is going to break out again because of how big this candle is, right? No, that's not the case. So you entered the market right here, right? And it shoots up a little bit, and you're like, wow, this is going to be awesome. It's going to keep going further than that. I feel like the euro is going to continue to go. Well, at that point in time, it felt like it was. But what happened here? It had a complete 180 and shot way back down. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. There's a ton of trend traders that get in at the very peak of the market just to get murdered right at the very top. I rarely find that that's the case in basket trading, grid trading, in counter trend. It rarely happens. But in trend trading, it's too easy to get stuck in a situation like this. And you just get hit so hard on the way down. So basket trading is difficult to make work with trend trading. I recommend a set stop loss, maybe single trades, maybe minimal basket trade limit while trend trading. Something that I'm still looking for, haven't had success yet, but I won't stop looking. uh, did you find it harder to develop a trend EA, and why so hard? So I guess I just kind of answered that. Um, why it's so hard? I guess I kind of answered that. You just never know when the trend's going to end, and you don't know really when it's going to slow either. Nobody knew it was going to reverse at this point. There was a whole number right near the top up here. That's kind of an indication, but it's not really helpful. But you do see there was an inside candle set up there on the 1 hour. That's that's nice. And that did show that there was potential for this to slow down. So you have a whole number and an inside candle set up. Still in the Euro US dollar. And like I was telling you before, that this kind of trading can be a little risky on the Euro US dollar pair since it is so heavily trending. All right. Yes, thank you. Okay. So let's go back to the questions. I don't think I finished answering them. Let's see. Only thing I can think of is hedging. Let me what we're reading here. Only thing I can think of is to hedge with a different pair after a certain drawdown percent, or try a stop loss. Now guys, those of you that are watching, this next part is going to be very important. All right, and I think this will be the most important part of the stream today. Is what I'm going to say in these next couple of questions, and these two questions right here. Only thing I can think of is to hedge with a different pair after a certain drawdown, or to try to stop closer to 7%. It's very hard to find that happy medium. I've tried putting stops below or top or low or high candle. Sorry, I guess this sentence structure there, but takes away a lot of profit. Although if I were manually trading and known of a certain fundamental event, I may have been able to adjust and only trade accordingly, or have to learn how to adjust larger drawdowns. So I don't have to read the rest of the message here. The most important part is this. The only thing I can think of is to hedge with a different pair after a certain drawdown. So this is the thing. This is the huge key, and I've already mentioned it once before in this stream, that basket trading is good on its own, and that's what I've done all my tests on, is showing that basket trading can work by itself. I'm trying to find my test right now, and for some reason I can't find it. Okay, well, I can't find it anyways. Uh, but basket trading can work by itself, but if you have it with other pairs, if you trade it with other pairs, then they can complement each other. And that's exactly what OzFX is talking about. It is the nature of this kind of system to have rare but fairly heavy drawdowns. Yes, you are true. You are right there, OzFX. Our main goal is to try to control those drawdowns. Your idea of hedging or building baskets with other pairs and or timeframes is a good starting point. I'm about to finish an EA on MT5 that deals with this issue by trading several pairs and or timeframes simultaneously. I will update this thread once the test results come in. So that's the thing that it's exactly the thing I'm doing right now, is I'm using on my VPS server 2 pairs that work by themselves over many, many years and can get out of all the trades on their own. But when worked together, that cuts the drawdown potentially in half, depending on the pairs that you're using and how they work together. But I've done the testing on each individual pair that shows that they're profitable on their own. So what happens when we bring them together? It turns into this godlike situation where they're even more profitable, even more safe, and there's so many more things that we can do with that idea. Like I'm expanding into maybe 2 more pairs. So that means that my strategy may be going from safe to safer at this point. But I need to figure out the best way to utilize that power of on 4 different pairs to make sure that I'm not going to be over risking my account, that I don't have too many trades in at the same time, that my trades aren't too large, my stop loss is set is at a good rate. Those are the kind of things that I need to pull back and think about, and that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's why I'm stopping the stream. That's why this is going to be the last stream for the next probably until 2018, unless I reach my goal before the end of the year, which I doubt. Um, but those are the kind of things that you need to figure out. This strategy, it works. It's been working. It's been working for 25 years on the euro pound. It's been working for 10 years on the pound CAD. It's been working for 25 years on the odd CAD. Sorry about that. I write in mid-sentence. I lost you guys. So this headset, when no sound is playing back, will turn off automatically. It's a new headset. Anyways, it works for 25 years on the odd Canadian dollar. It works for 25 years on the NZD CAD. Yes, you have to have the right settings that work, but those settings have worked with the personality of those pairs over 25 years. It doesn't mean that they will continue to, but when run with a group of pairs, like I just was talking about, the potential for increased increased safety is good, and they're potentially more profit as well. So expanding to more pairs is always a good thing, because then you're not just putting all your eggs into one pair basket. I've done that before and it kicked me in the pants. It needs to be that the system or the strategy needs to be shared on multiple pairs for better safety. All right. So what about basket trading in flash crash conditions? I like that question. A video. A video. I think that's how you say your name, but whatever. Um, a flash crash situation. Well, a lot of people lose in a flash crash situation if you just happen to be on the wrong side. I have a stop loss. That's the most important thing. I have a stop loss, and if flash crash happens, then I have a stop loss to start closing trades out and to admit defeat. Those things happen. That's why you always have to have a stop loss so you don't lose your whole entire account. My stop loss is wide, and it can be easily knocked out with the flash crash of 1,000 pips, like happened during after Brexit on the pound. That kind of stuff can happen. There's also a heavy possibility that I won't even be in any trades on that pair at all. Uh, and that's happened before, where because the flash crash happens so quickly, that and in most cases there's not a lot of volatility before these flash crashes happen, or not a lot of liquidity in the market. That's typically what I've seen. That the market will be too not volatile enough for me to be in any positions, and that's why I have the pound, uh, wherever it is, the RMI to help with that, and the RMI indicator to filter out situations like that. All right, so let's go back to my trades so you can just can watch in the background what's going on here. How do you deal with the large funny news on your EA? How to not regulate by not having all your baskets thrown in? Yes, another good question. News is a big deal, and I was pretty uneasy about selling the pound since the election. And you can see, it's not selling, buying the pound since the election. You can see since the election up here, it's been kind of a mess. We've had a huge push down just on the pound CAD, and all pound pairs have been suffering that. 700 pips or plus on the pound CAD. And so I'm like, I really hope that my EA doesn't buy in this market, because I understand the EA doesn't know that what's going on fundamentally, and it could easily go into a buy thinking that there's going to be a pullback. The thing is that there's so much pressure on the pound right now that it may not be a wise idea to do that. Great, I'm very grateful and also very happy that my setups worked very well in this situation, where yes, I did miss out on a couple positions, in particular this one here, and there was a trade here that I closed out early. But because of the increased volatility during the election, all of my trades would have closed out in profit using this strategy. So I did turn off the robot or the algorithm out of precaution during this time, just in case it did want to take some long positions. But because of the increased volatility, all of the pullbacks would have been profitable. So I missed out on some profit, but that's okay. It was precautionary action. So I turned back on my EA after the big push happened. In the I think it was in this area. I turned back on the EA, and actually no, it was right here. I entered a position right here, and it didn't take any more positions after that because it didn't have an inside candle setup. There was none on this whole wave down because the market just wasn't showing it. So it shows that what I have is a pretty good indication for a when the market's slowing down or when the pair is starting to lose its momentum on the downside in this case. And that inside candle showing that there was going to be a pullback. There wasn't much of a pullback, was there, in this whole move here? And I caught one here, but there wasn't any in this area, and so my methodology worked very well. So I was very happy about that. And there wasn't any setups after that as well until here. I finally got one here. And the cool thing about that, I was pretty happy about that. Even though it was a buy position, it was right at the support, the heavy support that hit here back a while ago. So I was thinking that there was a good possibility for it to bounce. And then it went back down, shot back up, actually a nice pullback on the upside. And then my algorithm entered on the short side. So I was very happy about this position up here, because it was it's caught on the sell side, on the short side, which is exactly what I wanted, because I knew that the pressure on the pound was heavy. So it's capturing exactly what it should be in this situation like this, even though it doesn't know what's going on fundamentally. Again, other positions up here that it took, and actually no, this was a manual setup. I took this manually, so no position there. And then this one here. Yes, another buy position. All right, a little scary, but if you're looking back, you see that area back there, it's going to be really small, so hopefully you guys can see this. Ugh. All right, there we go. So here is the same area I bought before, because it's the same place that we had showed support in the past. So there's heavy support at the area. It was just broken, yes. But I thought that there was a good potential for a bounce here, and if it did push down further, there would likely be a bounce right after that because of how much support is in this area of the 68 level area, and it does go in this whole bracket of price. And so we did have a pullback even after I did hit profit. So there was that pullback that I mentioned here. So you can't always control the news, but you need an EA. If you use an EA, you need one that can either withstand the news or filters out the news. I like the ones that actually can withstand the news because that shows that they can handle the most substantial of fundamental political news announcements. For example, my EAs were able to handle the Brexit. They were able to handle the 2008 crash in the US. That transferred worldwide as well. The housing market. They were able to handle the Iraq War. I mean, and substantial um, uh, natural disasters that happen too. If an EA is able to handle those types of situations, then what's to say it can't handle another really substantial situation like that again? Another Brexit situation happening in this time in Germany. What if Germany leaves the EU? That would be a huge situation. But I could potentially handle uh, that situation as well. Um, Ryan, are you at the point that you can build your new EA? What do you? Oh, no, no, actually, I can't code. I do understand some code, and I can make some changes to it, but I still don't know how to do it. So, like, for example, actually, I won't show you the code. I won't show you my code, but there's some things that I can figure out in it. But it is pretty difficult. I recommend going to mql5.com to check out uh, uh, potential people that will build your EA for you. So let's talk about this trade before I go today, guys, since the questions are slowing down. Uh, this inside candle entry, second entry 20 pips later. What's happening right now? This is looking like it could be a potential inside candle. Now we still have 40 minutes left of the candle, but if it ends this way with another inside candle setup, that means we've had two inside candles pretty close to each other. That means that the potential for a reversal would be much higher because we're getting these inside candles reversal patterns again and again and again and again really close together. That means that the market is wanting to slow down and there is a pullback that's waiting to happen in the market. It doesn't mean it will, but it means that the more times this kind of setup happens, the more likely it is to happen. Is there a way to build an EA with some type of momentum in matter of seconds from a candle? So you're looking at a type of volume EA, an EA that trades maybe a news announcement. So for example, like let's say that we've built a EA that trades NFP. It looks for the volume to increase a certain amount or a certain liquidity amount to come into the market, the candles to be a certain width before it enters. That is something that can be done, and I've seen some successful EAs that do that. But the problem is that they can be very temperamental, and it depends on the broker. So if a broker gives you requotes, or you have massive slippage, it can really affect these types of EAs. And so these EAs are very dangerous. They can be very dangerous depending on the broker that you use. And they're very broker dependent. So if they work with one broker, they may not work with another. That's the kind of EA I want to stay away from because it's not profitable around the board. It's only profitable potentially at just one broker. You can do EAs that work with that, but they can be really hard to code. They can be hit or miss in profit. But you can explore it, explore the idea. It may be worth it to do so. Um, but I haven't had a lot of success with that yet, and I have seen some EAs that were successful trading that way, but weren't successful long term, um, and never stuck around. You guys will see that a lot with retail EAs. You'll see that a lot with trading strategies. You see people that come and go. I mean, unfortunately, I'm going to be one of those people. If you go to the trading journals, you'll see that I'm up at near the top, Real Traders Video Journal. This won't be the case anymore because I'm not going to be updating this journal anymore. Not until I reach my goal. So this I'll fall off the board again. People are going to be like, "What happened to Cubby Be Good?" But that's the thing that happens to all these guys that are here. Either they lose accounts, they disappear, they do something else, but they come and go. People lose interest in the strategies, or they lose their accounts. And most likely, they lose their accounts. Like this poor guy, 800 to 1 million in 1 year. Let's see how he's doing. He might be doing pretty well. He's not doing that great. He's holding on to his positions. Now, let's talk about this real fast so you guys don't get into this situation as well. He's a basket trader, right? You can see by his positions that he's a basket trader. If you look at the lot size, you can also see his drawdown, which is very unfortunate. 7,000 pips drawdown, with a $3,000 drawdown as well. So he's a basket trader, but what happened here? He increased his lot size to 0.6. Okay, so he's getting a little anxious there. And then he did a 12, 3 trades at 12. So he's got 3 sells in and mostly buys. So what he's doing, he's trying to offset his bad positions with buying them out, or selling them out. So he's trying to go on the opposite side with more risk. But the thing is when you're doing this, is that this might not be the smartest idea, because what if it starts going back in his intended direction where all of his trades are in? Then he's again on the wrong side, and so he has to have enough margin to go in at maybe 24 lots back on the sell side. And if you don't have sorry about that. If you don't have enough risk then, or margin, then you could substantially kill your account. So this guy is in a bad position because now he's in the middle ground. His sell positions, his highest lot sell positions, are in drawdown. His buy positions are in drawdown as well. How is he planning on getting out of this? I have no idea. Does he have any margin left? Likely not with a 50% drawdown. So don't do that. Just don't do that. If you are in on one side, stay in on one side. Don't increase your lot size. Stay the same lot size like he was before at 0.03. And try to be smart with how you choose your positions. That's what smart basket trading is. Either you do grid trading, or you try to find the best places in the market to basket. For example, I did that same thing here. This is a manual basket setup here. So CV, you were asking why have you done this manually, and does it work well? It can. In this situation, I did pretty well. I entered my first position thinking it would go down. It didn't. Entered the second one. Oof. The second one was a mistake. And the reason why it was a mistake is because, no, it wasn't a mistake. It was okay. This was a entry at the hold number, at the 174. So this was fine. And this was another entry at the next hold number, 75. It did pull back down, didn't quite hit. This was an inside candle entry, and this was a basket. This was another algorithm trade. So these two were algorithm trades. So manual, 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 algorithm, algorithm, closed out for a profit of $159. So it was a combination of my algorithm and manual trades in this particular setup. But you could see that even if I just had these 3 trades here, it would have been probably a profit here. Let me see. So it would have been 78 pips or 80 pips on one trade, about an 8 pip loss on the other, and about 4 or 5 pips. So yeah, I would have been able to come out with about 10 to 15 pips profit on this basket here in this location, and it eventually did move down a lot further, as you can see, right? So what I'm saying is that you can pick the manual trades, and I did find near the peak. I did get really close to the peak here. on my manual trade strategy, trading setup. But this guy, unfortunately, hasn't found the peak anywhere. So I don't really know what trading strategy he's using. He probably doesn't know either, unfortunately, what he's using. This is the kind of situation where a lot of people get stuck in on Forex Factory. You see, he's doing really well at 245%, but he's using too much risk. As you can see, he's run out of margin. And so when he's wrong on the wrong side, it kills him pretty heavily. So these are the kind of things that I don't want you guys to do. I know that your accounts are small. A lot of your accounts are small. You don't have maybe not even $800 to trade. But I know that you're going to want to try to my strategy at a huge risk amount, and it could work. You could turn a $100 account into multiple thousands, but you got to do it temporarily. You can't do it for a long period of time. Maybe for a month, maybe two, but you have great risk of blowing up. But at least it's a good strategy that it can give you some profit temporarily. The thing that happens that when you do that though, is it makes it too tempting to go back to that kind of risk. So let's say that you're doing my risk. What I've recommended, which was 0.1, 0.01 for every 1K that you have in the account, 1,000 that you have in the account. That kind of risk, I'm going to see a lot of people trying to abuse that risk. For example, they're going to do, oh well, if he recommends the 0.1, then I'm going to use 10 times that risk. So, well, I'm going to use 0.1. And with a $1,000 account. See, that's the kind of things that I'm going to see a lot of you guys doing. And I don't recommend it, although you can do it. It's your choice. And because you're going to have, well, I only have $1,000. I don't have a $32,000 account, and so I have to try to make this work by doing that. Do it temporarily. Do it for 1 to 3 months, maybe. You might be able to have success doing that, and at 10 times the risk, you'll make quite a bit of money. But you also have the risk of blowing your account as well. So that's the thing that you have to keep in mind when trading this type of technique, is that, or this risk, that it's not always going to work. And don't get tempted. Use it for 1 to 3 months and then pull back your risk to the intended amount. Or if you want to keep going, go till you reach a certain goal of yours and then add more money. But honestly, guys, really, if you want to be really safe, if you want to trade correctly, if you want to trade for the long term, use 0.01 for every 1K. It's the smart thing to do. It's the real trader way. If you want to be a real trader, use this kind of risk, even if you do have a small account. Save up. Save up from your job. I know that a lot of you guys have to have jobs because most of you are probably not trading full time. So save up some money. Every single month, put aside $100, $200 if you can from your work, and put it aside into a trading account. And if you're trading at 0.01 lots for every 1,000, you're likely to be trading in a safe enough way where this will make sense, and you will be making a good 3 to 5% per month. You'll be able to compound your interest, and that's what I think you should do, instead of trying to grow your small accounts into a fat one in a matter of a few months. I see a risk. It's your actual broker. I like that. Yeah, it's the broker that I'm using, LMFX. Yes, LMFX is not a regulated broker. It's the risk that I'm taking here to try to get ahead. I'm not taking large lot sizes. I am taking my intended recommended risk, but I'm using a broker that gives me opportunity in a different way. This broker gives me a 100% bonus on my initial deposit, which is great. Brokers do that to try to help people to lose their money faster. I'm using it to benefit me, and that's why I've calculated that risk in a manageable way so I can take advantage of it. But that's the thing, is that these brokers give out these bonuses to try to trick people into using more risk, and they potentially will lose their account in that way. But if you can use these bonuses in a good way, or a smart way, you can find them beneficial. So I don't plan on staying at this broker forever. Likely when I reach my $50,000 goal, I'm going to be moving back to Oanda using my intended risk. It's because I don't want to take a big risk at a broker that's unregulated. I don't want to have to worry about my deposit leaving, or not being able to get my money, or not being able to sue them to get my money if they decide to hold on to it. But we'll see. I'm always checking the reviews of the broker on Forex Peace Army. I always have this up. I'm checking the health of the broker, seeing what people are saying. I'm also looking at forexsignals.com to see the health of the broker there, since Nick has a pretty big business, and LMFX is tied very heavily into forexsignals.com. So as long as I see that connection strong and I see the reviews here, then I don't have much to worry about. But when I see something that gives me some worry, like it did in the past, stay away with this 1-star rating, that becomes a little bit of an issue. This actually freaked me out. I withdrew my whole balance and then deposited back in later on when I found out this was a fake review. I found out this was a fake review, somebody trying to get money from the broker in a scammy way. That sometimes happens. A user will try to post a fake review to try to scam the broker into giving them money. All right, so with that being said, guys, I think that's probably where I'm going to end this stream. I know it's been about an hour and a half. I thank you guys so much for your support with all of this. I hope I've shared enough information to get you on your way. I know that it may be hard to comprehend. I'm going to keep my videos up on YouTube. They'll stay around. I won't take them down. So you can rewatch them when you need to rewatch them if something that you missed or don't remember. Most everything has been said in those videos. A lot of good things have been said in this video about how to trade my strategy, how to use it, how to manually trade it using Trader Agent. And I hope I reach my goal. I'm getting closer. I'm at $33,000. And I want to be at 50. And the thing is that once I'm at 50, that means that I can withdraw 25K from the broker, from LMFX, and send it to Oanda. And 25K is pretty close to enough for me to make a full-time income and also increase my balance size. So find that edge, guys. Put the work towards it. If you're passionate about trading long-term, put the work towards it in your free time or when you're not doing something, because it's necessary. It's necessary in making this work in the longer term. You don't want fast profits. You don't want something that's quick and easy. You want this to be a career. You're passionate about trading, right? So anyways, I think that's probably where I want to end the stream, and hopefully I'll see you guys, and stay subscribed to my videos, because hopefully in the next 6 to 12 months, you'll see an update from me saying, guys, I reached my goal. I'm ready for the next step. Maybe I can take on students at that point, because I'm making enough from my trading where I am satisfied, and I'm looking for looking to expand, I guess my trading world, which means maybe trading for banks, or helping others, doing seminars, all that kind of stuff. So that's it. Thanks again, and we'll see you maybe in the next many months. Have a good one, guys. Later. Bye.